Welcome. This is Global Unified Breathing, and my name is Paula Rowe. And today's show is It's Time to Breathe into Your Truth. Time's up. So, as you know, this show has been all about breath work and not any specific type of breath work, but just to support you in getting a clearer understanding. What I say all the time, the power of your breath, what your breath really is, what it can really do for you, and why we think that breath work is one thing, and if we keep going, it became such an expanded understanding for me that that's how this show came about. So today, what I'd like to do is speak about a few things first of all, and the title of the show is because, as most of you probably already know, the 21st of December is solstice. This energy, like I've spoken before about portals that have opened up, is like no other energy that we have ever taken into our bodies, just like other times. But the strength and the magnitude of this light is meant to up-level and shift our consciousness if we're prepared for it. And that's what I also have been sharing on this show, is ways to prepare yourself for these events that are taking place. In the outer world, if you pay attention to that, and most people are still paying attention, and I hope having a high level of discernment about what they choose to take into their consciousness, and also not only what they take in, what they then talk about to another human being. So I was thinking about the other day how I was overhearing someone tell a story. And the person that was telling the story approached someone who I think, she knew. And the person that she was telling it to was quite peaceful and very blissful. And the person who was telling the story, as she continued to tell the story, her body language and her voice and the amount of fear that was coming from her was so elevated that I took a few steps back. But this other person who was listening to the story, I watched as her breath shut down. It shifted, then it shut down, which meant she was barely breathing. And I thought to myself, do we need to start having a conversation before a conversation, asking to honor another person? Or would you like to hear what I just heard? And maybe check off a mark. Is it good or is it bad? Or is it something that, as you know me, I would not want to hear? Well, what started to happen is that by the time the story got relayed to this other person, it was quite interesting how all of a sudden the person who was telling the story was now very in drama, her body language, and she was ready to break out in tears. And the person who was listening to the story was trying to catch her breath as she was hearing these statements about the story coming at her. And I, being a breath person, was observing this and thinking to myself about how the density in both of their bodies. Here was somebody who was elevated, trying to be in her positivity, and this other person needed to share this drama story. And now we've got two people that dropped down in consciousness in this space of fear, because the next statements that were being made was, should we tell? And they started talking about other people. Should we tell them? We should go home and tell them, or we should make phone calls. And wouldn't you know, they picked up their phones and they both made the decision to share what this one person had heard to two more people. Hence, was this really honoring someone else, and whose truth was this for? So the question is to ask in the outer world, if it's something that resonates with you and it's your truth, maybe we need, and we believe it wholeheartedly, maybe we need to just keep those things within ourselves, because we never know. Traumatizing. But my point being is that the link in the chain grew. And as it grows, it imprisoned each one of these people on the phone now with a reaction and a response that was not positive, that was frightening. And by the time I saw these two walk away with their talking in the phone, there was like this energy coming off of them of terror. So I think it's really important for us to really remain conscious. Not only did their breath, like when you get terrorized by anything or traumatized, your breath is just taken away from you. And hence we're struggling to completely connect to God. Do we even think about this? God, source, light. The lighter we are, the easier the journey is. And I don't mean just light versus dark. I mean the more light quotient that we hold in our body, the more elevated our consciousness is, the lighter we are, which really honors everyone in our sphere, because it really starts to make us aware of the shift in our own body if we're paying attention. Especially, I can't stress the importance now moving forward more than ever. Where is your breath centered? Are you even aware that you're breathing? Your breath, as I've said many times on this show, is holy. It is God. It is source. It is source light energy streaming into the body. This isn't a secret anymore because I talk about it a lot. It isn't about just breath work as a healing. It's about breath work as identifying with the source that runs through you in a sacred gratitude for being able to take that very next breath. There is a sacredness in that. If you recall when I was talking about unifying through global unified breathing, was the breath, that one breath. Remember, God breathes, we receive, and when we receive, it sits inside, remember the mother's breath, inside the cauldron, the golden cauldron of our bodies. When we move it up into the high heart and we exhale, we offer the light of God to everyone around us. If we're not conscious of this, though, we're just taking our breath for granted, like we do. And we do take a lot of things for granted. It is my intention to bring more sacredness to the breath that we breathe every day with sacred gratitude, because I'm really aware right now of, in the outer world, what choices are you making? Are you making choices that make you take happy breaths, and that you're being aware of thanking God for the breath that you breathe every day of your life? Or are you waiting until the last breath, gasping, before people leave their bodies? They're gasping for the last breath. So I find it kind of interesting now that the portal and this energy that's coming is that it's really going to affect a lot of people. And what that means is that what you have been focusing on, whatever you're giving your breath, your life force to, will magnify even more. So one thing that I was thinking about is making sure, if possible, every day you sit and just follow your breath. Babaji, the Ascended Master Babaji, gave us that exercise to every day breathe in, breathe out, being aware of that. It's a meditative state, and we all need to be meditating more, not to chatter and mind with God, bringing more God in through the breath, through the breath. So what I would like to do is a couple ideas. We are needing more than ever now to find ways to let go of the external world, our concerns, and decide, make a decision. At least once a day, sit down with your family. More than that's even better. And just be in silence, listening. So one of the ways originally that the monks were trying to share their message with was teaching about meditation with monadic. The monadic is the circle that you can use anything that has the dot right in the center, and sit there and look at that dot and just be aware of the movement of your own God within you. That movement. Pretty soon the dot disappears if you do it with a practice and make it a practice. Pretty soon it disappears. Just like anything, what we're trying to do is get rid of the chitter chatter and the nonsense of the ego that's constantly chattering. Look over here. Come over here. Listen to that. Oh my gosh, look at her. Ha ha. You know, it's like we really need to grow up. And we need to be aware that time's up. A lot of people are going to really look around even more and wonder what's going on. What's going on is what you deem what's going on, what you give your energy, your life force to. If you have been one who has been watching and being conscious of things that are anything to do that is not of God, then that is exactly what will be in your face, be in your energy, be in your field around you. I don't know how you can enjoy that, but everybody has the power of choice. But for most of us that are in my realm, we choose heaven on earth, which is a state of consciousness, which is a state of uplifting by being aware of the God within. And the only way is through the breath, is to go inside. The only way to know God. Where's God? Not out there, not in a building, not all these things all of our lives we've been told. God rests right inside of you. And He's waiting. And He's waiting. And He's waiting. So today, what I'd like to do is have you close your eyes, and we're going to just follow our breath. So what I'd like you to do is just listen. Listen to the sound of my voice, stopping all movement of the body. If you need to readjust your spine, that's fine. But stop and sit down or lay down. We're going to give God some of our time, our precious time. And become aware of your entire body. Just kind of scan and just become aware of your feet, of your knees, of your hips, of your shoulders, of your head. Close your eyes and become aware of your breath. Following the inhale, following the exhale. We're not doing any particular breathing modality. We're bringing in God. We're connecting to Source. Becoming aware and letting go. Letting go. Nothing matters right now. Just natural breathing. You can be breathing through your mouth or your nose. Breathing in the one true Creator who loves you, who gives you this breath, who gives you the power of your own breath, who gives you the power through the breath to exist in this space and time. There is no time here except the moment of the breath. Breathing very softly, centering, allowing your breath to flow in and out. Breathing in God, breathing out God. Breathing in more light, aligning, allowing. In sacred gratitude, breathing. Just keep breathing nice and gentle. A normal breath, observing, just observing. Just observing. Your breath can create a shift within the body. Absolutely. Deep breath in. No particular timing. We're breathing in God. We're breathing in Source. We're breathing in the light. The more light that you carry in your body, the more truth that you align to, and the more truth that you align to, the more you won't look at the lie. We don't need to even identify with anything but the truth. Whatever your truth is, if it's of God and love, breathing in, aligning, allowing, gracefully following your breath. Babaji would always say, I'm breathing in love from Source. I'm breathing out love from Source. So if we continue a few times during the day, especially when we're called to stop everything and breathe, no matter what, no matter where you're at, you shouldn't be getting yourself to the point where you need to catch your breath. Don't let your breath get away. If you do this 3 times a day, say for 10 minutes, you can set your timer on your phone. What's going to start to happen is your meditation times will get easier and more depth. We are needed right now to source our souls, allowing our souls to step forward to help us and assist us in our own remembering. What did you say you would do for God? What did you commit to for God? What did you agree to for God? Did you agree to help the animals? Did you agree to assist humanity in some way? It doesn't have to be grand, but it's something that you committed to. And normally we find that when we keep reaching out to assist in any way. The plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, the mineral kingdom, and especially right now those souls who are suffering, who are asking, what is happening? And we don't have to be able to explain everything. No one knows, but many know. Sometimes the information is just for us. We're not meant to share it. we're going to really need in solstice energy to up-level divine forgiveness, magnitudes of divine forgiveness. I've been aware of this for about 6 years. We're going to need to be able to forgive beyond anything we have ever imagined. We need to be able to align with God. An unforgiving heart cannot align with Source. Keep breathing. Remember what Christ said. Take no thought. 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 5 times. There's meaning behind that, but I won't go into it right now. So just sitting and breathing, following your own God within you. Allow and give yourself this blessing and this gift now. It will lead you to your truth. I promise. I promise. It does. Something occurs. So we just have to allow. It doesn't take anybody else. I'm only giving you a tool. And hopefully you'll use this tool. Sourcing your soul will be very beneficial. So if you need help meditating, GlobalUnifiedBreathing.com. Go on there and reach out, send me an email. Remember, stay centered. Surround yourself with the diamond heart, the body of truth that you are, and let everything else just go. I know you can do it. I have complete faith. It's time to turn the tide more than ever. It's us. We need to turn the tide. And we need to go to God. Not begging, but being empowered. God is waiting. He's been waiting a long time. We all got lost. Every single one of us. Please, as you wake up, just let God embrace you through your breath. That deep embrace from God. It's the most beautiful feeling when you know God's embracing you. Welcome home. That's what you'll hear. Welcome home. So the more that we do these exercises, the more deeper we'll connect, and the more other things will just come to us naturally to start shifting and changing, and what to walk away from, what conversations to walk away from, people, attachments. This is God's world. It always has been, and it always will be. The light of God never fails. The I Am Presence is here. I love you. Namaste.